A group of thieves were caught looting a home in Los Angeles during the wildfires, and the newly elected LA DA, Nate Hochman, is recommending a very tough sentence. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the newly elected District Attorney of Los Angeles, Nate Hochman, recommending a very tough sentence for a group of thieves and an arsonist, by the way, who were caught thieving and looting and burning and carrying on in Los Angeles during the wildfire. Now, this is music to my ears. Hopefully, you guys have a better DA than the previous one, George Gascon, because this guy let everything go on. I'm reading a lot of reports, news articles, watching videos. Man, y'all got gangs of thieves just stealing, people getting beat up, people getting followed to their home and robbed right there. It's like the criminals could do whatever they want. The gangs, the other organized crime from all over the world probably just comes to Los Angeles for the purpose of thieving and carrying on. Hey, you know what? It might be kind of a tourist attraction, not just a sun and the fun, Hollywood, the parties, all this and that, the celebrities. It ain't just that. Nah, come to LA if you want to rob people, barefaced, no pistol, and get away with it. Because you can't have guns out there to protect yourself, but the thieves got whatever they want and they could do whatever they want. Now, before I get too triggered into that, let's just give a little bit of an update about the wildfire and whatnot from Kamala and Joe, because they've been kind of quiet. You might have forgot that they were the president and vice president. Yes, they're still in office until January 20th, 2025, in just 6 days. Hey, listen, I cannot wait. I am like a child on Christmas Eve. That's how I feel right now. Get these bums up out of the White House. The fake black lady and the 1,000-year-old man. Get them out of here. Now, let's go to what Kamala says about what's happening. They let her talk, surprisingly. Check her out.
And so it's critically important that to the extent you can find anything that gives you an ability to be patient in this extremely dangerous and unprecedented crisis that you do. And so it's
okay, so I'm not really sure what the context was, but you know, some of that good old famous Kamala word salad. Hey, Kamala, start a restaurant and serve word salad on the menu. I promise it'd be a hot seller. You would sell out in the first 15 minutes. You understand what I'm saying? But the same old kind of word salad and not really much. Maybe the context was about the payments they're going to give to some of the families that have been affected. Okay, so let's see what Joe says about the payments.
I want to be clear. We're not waiting until those fires are over to start helping the victims. We're getting them help right now, as you all know. People impacted by these fires are going to receive one-time payment of $770, one-time payment, so they can quickly purchase things like water, baby formula, and prescriptions. So far, nearly 6,000 survivors have registered to do just that, and $5.1 million has gone out. And I want to be
all righty, so you get $770. That's a raise, ain't it? Because wasn't in North Carolina was $750? It might have been $700 flat. Hawaii might have been the same thing, $700 flat. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. And then you got to call them on the phone and squabble over it. You might not even get the full thing because of your income. You might get $350. Meanwhile, the migrants come over here. No proof of identity, no proof of nothing. They getting $5, $10, $15, $20,000 on the debit card. They can go get whatever they want. They could go buy up property. Like they're starting whole restaurants and everything with the money they be given from the federal government. Meanwhile, you lost everything, lost your house, your community, loved ones, all of that. Hey, here goes $700. But if you make too much, we'll give you $250. Okay, and we're going to get it to you 6 to 8 weeks. But the migrants get their car immediately as soon as they cross the Rio Grande. But that's a different story, and I digress. Let's get to the whole thing here about those who have been arrested, part of this burglary ring, I suppose. And again, you see an arsonist is right there as well. Check it out.
And the LAPD, through, again, such impressive investigation, worked with various leads and tracked Mr. Peoples and Mr. Bell to an apartment in Koreatown. Surveillance was then conducted. When they attempted to leave, they were then apprehended, and a number of these stolen items from that residence was found with Mr. Peoples and Mr. Bell. Mr. Peoples is committed 2 prior violent or serious felonies. This is his third. As a potential 3-strike person, he is looking at life in prison. And Mr. Bell, as a 2nd strike individual, will be looking at 22 years and 8 months in prison if convicted. Mr. Coleman accompanied Mr. Bell and Mr. Peoples out of that apartment building in Koreatown, went into a second car. And when Mr. Peoples and Mr. Bell were stopped, that second car, driven by Mr. Coleman, kept going. It went through a light. It crashed into another vehicle. That innocent person in the other vehicle suffered a concussion. So Mr. Coleman has been charged with 1-count felony hit and run causing great bodily injury. As also a potential 3rd strike case, he is looking at a maximum sentence of life in prison.
Hey, well, there we go. A lot of these career criminals, they got to go. And I think, wasn't California, it's kind of odd. And y'all, again, if I'm wrong, correct me. It's kind of odd how soft on crime California has been. It's kind of odd that they've been so soft on crime when they, I think, originated the whole 3-strike rule. Maybe it was California, maybe it was New York, but I think it was California. They're the ones who had the 3-strike rule to begin with because of all the crime that was happening. A lot of the gang violence, a lot of just the mayhem that was going on. It was repeat offenders. They go to jail, they go to jail, go to prison, get out and do the exact same thing again. It's like, okay, you want to keep doing this? Here's 3 strikes, you're out. You get 3 felonies, if you don't know, 3 felonies. On the 3rd one, you getting 25 with the L. You might get life in prison. You don't come home no more because 3 strikes are out like baseball. Okay, I think they were the ones who had that. But I'm glad that they're actually going to prosecute people here because, theft and other things, any kind of crime has kind of been downplayed. Maybe they say they don't want to have prisons filled with black men or whoever they want to say, too many Hispanics, too many blacks. I don't care what color they are. Listen, as I close, I want to say this. If you are a criminal, how about stop committing crime if you don't want to keep going to the penitentiary? If you don't want to be there forever, stop committing crime. Find something else to do. And you know what? Some are going to say, where's your solutions, ABL? My solution for any kind of community, regardless of what color it is, blacks, of course, Hispanics, whatever, any kind of community where you got the schools where you're seeing consistently poor test scores, like they can't read at all, math is terrible. I would make all those kids in those communities take a test by the 3rd grade. And if they can't pass this test, I'm going to force them into a school where they learn trade skills, where they learn skills they can actually use without being highly educated or very intelligent. Okay, work with your hands. Do you know how to use a socket wrench? Do you know how to use a drill? Do you know how to, swing a hammer, use some brand nails? Like, I would tell them that from the beginning. And for the girls, it'd be home ec, nursing, because that's what they end up doing anyway, rather than going through school doing nothing, pretty much just being babysat. I would have them honing in on skills early so when they get to be adults, they can use these skills and they can make quite a bit of money. Rather than trying to learn those skills as an adult, they can learn them when they're young, so they're already trained to do it. And they could do other things. Okay, maybe I become good at this and I have money and I can invest into that. But they got to have some kind of foundation. You can't keep having these criminals just be produced. It's like a rodent infestation. At a certain point, you got to do something with it, man. Really. And I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your thoughts on the response from the new DA toward the criminals that they caught? You got 9 looters and 1 arsonist. Climate change, ABL, is climate change. Please stop. Please stop. Ain't no climate change. Southern California been Southern California as long as Southern California been Southern California. Everybody knows what it is. It's dry. It's nice conditions. No humidity. It could be a fire and it could be some damage. Everyone knows this. It's no secret. Why are we acting like this is something that's brand new, 2025? It's not. It's not. But whatever your thoughts are on that, let me know in the comments. The criminal situation, look, like I said, criminals I have no sympathy for, especially when you are a repeat offender. You got to put them away. I would recommend things done in childhood to prevent this kind of behavior from. You can't just say we're going to go soft on crime and the problem will go away. Okay, we're not going to prosecute as many, so therefore the crime rate will go down. Now you got to do something to really prevent it, because the crime is actually happening and it's affecting people who are not criminals in your community. So you got to do something. I'll start with education and also being tough on crime. All right, you're 15 years old and you shooting and killing and thugging and drugging. All right, here go 30 years in the penitentiary. Take that. That's what I would do. Whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.